The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, depending on where in the world you are. Thank you for attending our webinar on the Dog and Cat Food Ingredient Center. My name is Bruce Plants. I'm the Vice President of Innovation and Data Development with Watt Global Media. We also publish Pet Food Industry Magazine, petfoodindustry.com website, Pet Food Forum around the world. So the Dog and Cat Food Ingredient Center is an outgrowth of the pet food industry brand. It started a few years ago. We had talked actually for quite a few years about putting together a database of the ingredient decks of dog and cat food sold in the United States. We were spending time researching how to do it and came upon a source of the data a couple years ago, and then started testing it and made a contract with the data source and built the Dog and Cat Food Ingredient Center, which is really designed as a search tool of this database. And I'll show you the search tool here in a few minutes. The website at pet-ingredients.com is basically there to house the search tool and give more information on it and act as a gateway into it. We do put a few other things on it, a lot of it trying to show the power in what we can do with the search tool. We do some analysis stories where we use the search tool to analyze the ingredient use in different products, and those are available on the site. We also have new products. As new products are added, we add them to the site with a little bit of information on them. What's interesting on the new products is you can actually see, if you're a full subscriber, you can actually see the full ingredient deck from right here. I'll show you a little more of that in a minute. And we pick up a little bit of news from petfoodindustry.com, but well, as I said before, the real key of the site is our ingredient search. We do ask you to register. There's a free registration to get a kind of sample of the ingredient search. Some of you may have already registered and done that, so this will be redundant for you, but for those who haven't, I'm going to show you what you would see. So say we, I'm going to use blueberries as my test throughout this. So we do a search for blueberries, and we can, this is in dog dry food. It'll show that 625 products in the database of dry dog food match that search. That's all it's really going to show you, but it gives you that number, which actually, there's some value there, right there, knowing how widely a certain ingredient is used in the market. But that's really all you can do. You can run unlimited numbers of these sample searches. So you could do, you do have to do, make choices between cat and dog and categories, but I could do the same search with cat, and we'll get a different result. 20% of dry cat food. So that is the free search. I'm now going to jump and show you the full search, which is what you're really here to see. So I'm going to go right to the full ingredient search, and you'll notice we've got a lot more options here. Again, I'm in dry dog food. You can search by brand name. So in the way the search works, you can start typing, and it'll show you, it'll start trying to answer for you. So if I type Acana AC, I have a choice between Acana and Active Care. I'm going to go with Acana. And we'll see we have 28 products in dry dog food by ACANA in the database. Because I'm in at the full membership level, if I click on it, I'm going to see the full ingredient deck for that product. So this is the full ingredient deck, word for word, letter for letter, comma for comma, as it appears on the product. And that creates some unusual searches and some problems. I'll talk a little more on that later and some solutions for it. But we also show the guaranteed analysis directly off the label. So this is 405 calories per 8-ounce serving, crude protein 31, fat, fiber, and moisture. If you click on the company name, it takes you to more information, and this is from the top company's pet food database on petfoodindustry.com, that ACANA is owned by Champion Pet Food. Here's a phone number and a little bit of information on Champion. So it just gives you, once you do a search and find a company, you can get a little more information on that company. So that's one search. I'm going to do the computer is running a little bit slow because I'm broadcasting, I believe. So bear with me. Okay, an ingredient search. Now I'm going to search by ingredient, and we can either search by including or excluding ingredients. When I'm including ingredients, I can actually do multiple ingredients. So I'm going to do blueberries. I'm going to add fennel. And now I'll get a search of products that contain both blueberry and fennel. So there's 18 products that contain both blueberry and fennel. Again, I can click on it. It'll expand. And when you expand it, it'll actually, in the ingredient deck, it'll show you where blueberry and fennel are in position in the ingredient deck. And again, these ingredient decks are collected by our data partner. They're trying to collect every dry dog and cat food that is sold in the United States. They are collecting data every day. They are updating data every day. When product formulations change, they change it, and they change we see a new update of it. They try to work directly with a lot of the manufacturers to get the data electronically, because trying to type in this much data, you're pretty prone to error. So this is all it's professionally gathered, mostly electronically from a variety of sources. Once you've done a search such as this, you can then save the search, or you can export your results. So if I hit export, it's going to open with Microsoft Excel. It's my default. It just opened on my other screen, so I'm going to bring it back. But here's the export. And this is an Excel file. It shows how we're collecting the data, how they name the data. It's by brand name. They then go by product, formula name. So you've got small breed, puppy food recipe, puppy, animal size. This is how they're trying to classify all the data. It's not a perfect science. Formulas are often, grain-free. So you can get an idea if you do an export and start looking at the names in Excel on, how certain products are being used and how they're being labeled as a result. One of the things we're looking at gathering in the future is product claims. We don't have them in here right now, but they are collecting product claims, and when we feel we have enough mass, they'll be adding product claims. I should scroll to the right here so you can see here is the full ingredient deck. And again, this is now an Excel file, so you can do with it what you want. You can do your analysis, you can do whatever. You can also save the search. So if you're doing a complex search, you can save the results and come back to it later. I can show you. Here's my saved searches. So say potato starch, I can edit the name of the search, I can remove it, or I can run the search again. There's 117 results. Once a search is run, you can click on here and see, if you forget what you've done, you can see what the search is, and you can even modify the search from this point. So I could add in other ingredients, or I could do an exclusion. One thing to note at this point, the searches on the database, when I'm doing the including search, this is an and search. So if I put two products into it, it's it's showing me only the products that contain both those products as an and search. We are working on adding an or search to the database and should have that here in the near future to where you could see, and this is needed because just to simplify our search process, because again, I'll use blueberries as my example. You know, some people refer to it as blueberries, others refer to it as blueberries, some are doing blueberry dried, blueberry fiber. So I could get all the different iterations of blueberry today, but I have to run multiple searches and then combine the results. We're going to make it to where a person could run one search and get the combined results. So again, you know, blueberry, fewer people refer to it as blueberries, because now we're only down to 1%. And in most cases, what I'm finding on the searches, you've got your main, such as blueberries, what most people are referring to, and then a lot of different iterations. So it's not a huge problem. I've also done some very big exclusion searches, to come up with things like, here's a list of everything that's grain-free. And I did this and I could show you the fairly complex search I put together by excluding every possible grain I could find that showed up in the database in dry cat food. So if I exclude all those, it is real theoretically grain-free. So there's a lot more actual grain-free than there are out in claims. It's about 48% of the cat food market. That's about what I have to show. Again, this is data that's being collected by an outside source and updated all the time. I'm now going to go to the question area. Give me just a second while I get my window to expand here to where I can see it better. Are AAFCO ingredient definitions included? No, they aren't. That's something we've thought about and could be included, but we don't have them in here today. open to other questions. What percent of the products on the market do I estimate we cover in the database? That's a good question. On dog and cat food, I would say we're in the mid to high 90s is my estimate. There's also treats in the database. There's about 1,000 treats, and we know that's not a very high percentage. They have been collecting treats. They don't claim to be collecting all the treats, but there's 1,000 in there. But on dog and cat food, dry and canned, or wet, whichever you want to call it, we're probably in the high 90s. We're just starting to collect what they call freeze-dried, raw, and frozen. There's very low percentage on those right now. I'll probably even hide these until we get a higher percentage. That's the area they're working on collecting right now. They're trying to further refine the data they're collecting. I hope that answers that question. Do we have private brands? Yes, we do. Trying to think, and forgive me, I'm not thinking of what it is right now. I mean, we do have a lot of private brands in here that, you know, it's the Sam's Club private brand, and it shows up as that. And then if you click on the brand name in the results, it tells you, it goes back to our database and it tells that it's a private brand of a certain company. Pricing, that's a good question. For a full search, it's a monthly subscription, or it can be an annual fee. I'll go to the pricing page here. The full access is $949 per month. That's for one seat. It can be paid via credit card on the website. If you would rather have us bill you, we can do that as well. Annual fee today is currently $99.95 per year, which is less than paying 12 different months. And for multiple users, we have a sliding scale, and we're negotiable on that. So if you're interested in having 2 or 3 users, we're willing to work with you and give you some pricing. I'm also wide open to giving a private demonstration on this if somebody's interested. I'm also willing to let people have access to it for a day or so to play with it and test it. When we do that, we ask that they don't download data, but we will give them access and let them see the data. So it's a little bit of a try before you buy. So this does not include international products. Well, it includes a few that are sold in the United States, but we're tracking what is being sold in the US and most of Canada. So there's quite a few Canadian products in here. There are some European products in here and some Australian products and New Zealand products that are sold in the US, but it is not tracking those. In the news or analysis, is the information specific to the brand, mixed feed level, example, news info about glucosamine or anchovy meat, krill oil? No, not at this time. That's an interesting idea and something we might look into, but do I include launch dates by products? That's something we're looking at. We don't have it today, but it would be good to have. I have it in my back end. I have it date added. Where it gets tricky is we have both launch dates and modified dates. We haven't quite figured out how to sort that through, but right now, no, we don't include launch dates, but it's something. Will SKU UPC information be available? No, this is by recipe. So it gets to the recipe, not to the SKU. So there can be multiple SKUs in what we're calling as a recipe, which is the products. Would I ever have typical nutritional analysis available on individual ingredients used in pet foods? Again, that's an area we've talked about. We could, we don't have it today. I should mention this is a new product. We launched at Pet Food Forum this year in April. It was kind of a soft launch. Our hard launch was really toward the end of May. So we're about a 4 or 5 month old product. So there's a lot we could be adding, but we're trying to walk before we run. And give me a minute. I'm looking at questions. I'm running through my questions, so I think I've hit most of them. Please bear with me. If you have any further questions, please go ahead and put them in. I'll try to get them answered here, or if I'm missing. One question is, how often are the individual product labels, including ingredient deck and GA, updated? The company monitoring this is trying to monitor for all updates. We get our data is updated every 2 weeks. In that update, it's about 50-50 new products that they found and 50-50 products that have been updated. So I'm getting probably 20 to 30, some weeks it's more than that, products that are updated every week. So, there are people out there updating this all the time. Question, is this available in print form? No, it isn't. This is an online searchable database. That's it. Somebody asked what country you need to choose for registration. I'm not sure what the question is, and it doesn't really matter what country you register in. It shouldn't make any difference to us. This will be available on the website, and there's contact to inquire for a specific product to be added. There's contact us area with on the website with my email address on it. Just let us know and we will add a specific product. And again, this will be sent out to everybody. You'll get a follow-up email with a link to the a recording of this. So if you want to share it with other people within your company, again, I'm more than happy to do individual demos. If you have other people in your company you think you would like to have see this, if you would like a group to see it, I'm more than happy to put on a demonstration. Just contact me directly. at bplants@wattglobal.com, and I'll set that up at your convenience. Someone asked if they could request certain analysis. Yes, again, just send it to me, and if it's something reasonable to do, I will do it. And I'm looking for topics and things to analyze in that analysis area. And I think that's running toward the end of my questions. Looks like the audience has held with me pretty well. Hold off just for another minute to see if there's any last questions that come in, but I think again, if you would like a demonstration, contact me directly at bplants@wattglobal.com. If you'd like information on multiple pricing options or multiple seat pricing options, contact me, bplants@wattglobal.com. So I think one last question has come in. It's without AFCO profile, how will we know for what life stage a food is recommended? I mean, we are, this is the data that is on their label. We're not tying it to any other data. And one other question is 30% an average representation of percentage of ingredients? No, it isn't. I mean, there's some, you get down to, you'll have ingredients that it's in one product in the database. You have other ingredients. I think chicken meal is the most common ingredient I found. It runs up about 50% in dry dog food. A lot of things do run in that 30% range. I think most of the things I demoed happen to, but there isn't, I mean, it's all over the map. So again, if you have direct questions, send them to me. Okay, the AFCO profile required by law to be on every label. That's fine, but it isn't what we're collecting. I mean, we'll look into that. That's a good point. I have to work with what the company that I'm getting the data from is collecting. If it's not being collected, I can't do much with it. But I'll go back to them with that and see what I can find out. If they have the AFCO profile, I don't think they do. When will the raw and frozen categories be populated? I've been told by the end of the year is their goal. Again, that's another company that's doing that. So you've probably all worked with partners and know how much control you have over it at that point. But I've been told it's the end of the year. I'd like to, So any last questions? If not, we'll be closing it down here shortly. Once again, feel free to reach out to me with direct questions. I also have my contact information in the email that goes out to everybody. Direct questions, or if you're looking for a direct custom demonstration, be happy to set that up for you. So thank you all for coming. And everyone have a good day. Thank you.